Okay, we are back once again with the third match of ALS Day 1. We do have the Nancy Drew crew on the side against Iron Dragon on the red. And I, alongside my co-host, Paper Friend, will be handling this. First things first, do have Aatrox and Ari banned on the side of on the side of Nancy Drew crew, excuse me, my brain lagged really hard. And then we've got here you go. Hey, you are, Paper. I was wondering if you were going to show up.
You don't have to hop this.
That's all good, that's all good. But we have Akali, Ari, and Aatrox on band away on the side of the Nancy Drew crew, as well as Kate, Lucian, and Lee Sin banned on the side of Iron Dragon. First pick ADC on this side of Nancy Drew. That is a mouthful to say, the Nancy Drew crew. I think I'll just short that Nancy Drew, to be honest with you. Or NDC. Jin is also very susceptible to like dive jam, which is why I tend to hesitate on those kinds of picks. But as I'm saying that, of course, like the Jarvan pick goes right out. Or we're just getting debated. See? Getting debated all over. Oh, there's the Kai'Sa. That's it. I think they're going to switch it up a bit. I can't see them just randomly picking, not randomly, but like picking just from their roles. Because it doesn't seem like that's what's happening anyway, if they're in order, that is. And Navigator brings a lot of wave clear to a fight, which means that their mid game is all but secured. Their mid and late game is definitely secured from that pick alone. Yorick, who's a very strong split pusher, and I would say he's good all game long. His late game is a little bit weaker, but his split push is still very strongly. But let's see what, because there's still a top laner on the side, a top lane and a jungle pick on the side of NDC, and
I'm angry.
a support and mid laner on the side of Iron Dragon. But Alistar and Mordekaiser bans are out. But I feel like I don't think that the buff was really strong enough to bring him back into meta, although in a competitive sense he's still an extremely powerful pick who can make really strong roams when played to that level. Excuse me? Even before that, because there's plenty of times that I know that plenty of situations too that occur where Alistar will pick up Mobius at like level 4, level 5 and just immediately sprint behind the mid lane tower and just push them out from the tower.
Mumu, man.
Mumu got some really tasty buffs this patch and is also a very strong pick now, especially when it comes to coordinated play where he can just ult off for free. But that is a Yasuo pick, and I'm assuming if that pick goes through, it will be an interesting matchup to see Yasuo into Yorick. But the Nautilus does bring Iron Dragon's team comp together, meaning that their front line can be the Nautilus on top of the Jarvan, which is a huge amount of peel for Kai'Sa, even though Kai'Sa does have a good amount of self-peel as well, which is very difficult. Unless she gets hooked by Blitzcrank, it's very difficult to stick to Kai'Sa.
Both teams currently have a hooker. Definitely has an engage on both sides. Bali Bear picking up, rounding off for the last pick for
as the jungler.
Yeah, there's a jungler. Can I get their names in chat?
The names of the players or the team name? Yeah. Blue side is the Nancy Drew crew. And we have red side as Iron Dragon.
Thank you very much.
But the Twisted Fate is the last pick as their mid laner on the side of Iron Dragon, which means that when played properly, he's going to be the one who's probably going to be focused in these team fights first, followed by Kaisa. But it's going to be difficult to match the roam potential here if Anivia doesn't shove him under tower constantly.
To have here Twisted Fate with a TP where he could apply the global pressure at the same time that Anivia is going to wave clear end on end. But Anivia does bring the ignite, so she is definitely looking for more kill potential.
She wants to do something early with this. Whole lot. There's a good mix of damage coming from both teams as well, with Kaisa's on-hit AP damage and Twisted Fate. And then on Nancy Drew's side, we've got Nivea's AP damage as the only source of AP. So if Nivea does get behind, it's going to be very difficult for the Nancy Drew crew to itemize against Iron Dragon.
The Iron Dragon decided to pick up 2 teleports. Definitely going to have that global pressure, that pressure lanes. Definitely weaker a little bit more in the mid to late game, but I think both teams have engaged a follow up and definitely a lot of damage.
Especially
Nancy Drew crew decided to have triple AD pressure, so I think it would be smart for Nautilus and Jarvan to pick up some early armor items, prioritize that.
The only item that I feel like both, those two and York would need this game would just be an adaptive helm, really. Like an adaptive helm more than does enough to keep Anivia from blowing them up, and then they can focus the armor really hard. There are 3 armor AD based carries, and not only does the adaptive helm work on Anivia, it also works on the Volibear ultimate as well.
Let's see if they actually pick it up, and potentially a random's own, because they have 2 crit heavy champions on their side.
Very true. Although my concern is a little bit more towards the top side of the map because of how volatile that matchup can be. Although it's definitely sided towards Yasuo, it doesn't make it any easier for Yorick to win that matchup. And if Yasuo gets ahead in that matchup, he will become a monster in this game.
Yasuo most likely needs to shut down the Yorick from split pushing mid to late game, or else Yorick is going to wreak havoc on the blue side, and that's Drew crew. With the TF just ulting in it over and over again, is just going to be wreaking havoc on a Yasuo.
Yeah, I can't really see Twisted Fate having a lot of kill pressure on the Anivia anyway. So I don't think that the junglers will focus, at least I don't think Jarvan will focus mid very hard unless to counter gank.
That pre-6 for the Anivia is going to be very scary. We'll really be counting on that Jarvan counter for some lane pressure, hopefully. But we'll see what happens. And we are almost on our way. 5 more seconds to be in game.
Up. Got the loading screen, and then we'll be underway.
I would like to note that both supports opted to bring Ignite. There'll be no exhaust. I was woken up straight out of my sleep, but it was my fault. I did not expect the not account on Pacific time transition. I did not notice that. That was my fault.
It's huge. It's a 3-hour difference.
Yep.
Let's look at these rune choices. So Nivea opting for the electrocute, actually. and so is Jarvan, also opting for the Electrocute, and then Twisted Fate with the Sealed Spellbook. These are,
Wow.
especially on the Twisted Fate with Spellbook, it's going to is usually an testament to how well a Twisted Fate player actually play the game in macro well. That's what that champion is all about. Not to mention now with the added pressure of being able to switch his summoner spells, it's going to be even more pressure that comes out.
That's very unique. I don't see that often myself, but
usually you'll see it in higher elo games like Grandmaster, like Diamond 1 Plus.
You have to bring out some of that high elo strategy right here.
Only a couple of TF players in the world can play him at the level that makes him feel like he's everywhere at once. Let's see if we can see that kind of TF this game.
No pressure, Bisu 43. No pressure. You got this.
No pressure. No pressure. Whoa, chat. Relax. A little toxic to start.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Do you feel like an invade is going to be happening?
An invade is definitely. I don't know how successful it'll be, but it looks like Jarvan wants to start on the top side. Oh, seems that there is a NDC, so disconnect. We'll be taking a hot. How long do they give you? 10 minutes of pause time.
We do have a pause in the game. Are you loaded up? I'm in.
I am.
A summoner has reconnected.
And they have reconnected. Okay, there we go. Everyone's back in.
As we started.
Kai'Sa reconnected. Thank God. Welcome back, Kai'Sa.
Really aggressive moves coming in from Nancy Drew. Looking. Oh. Should end up being
and a flash.
The flash hook missing actually. I don't even think the flash was necessary to hit the Nautilus there.
Definitely was in range, but you know what? These are next level strategies that I don't understand myself.
They'll show us these strategies. I'm learning as we go.
Whoop. And
they're still there.
Hugging into the Nautilus, and that's first blood. It took
going to King George as well.
The Yorick's pushed Yasuo all the way into the lane.
In a bit like we expected.
And then a nice instant flash from House Arrest Soul.
Yorick is also here in the mid lane. I don't think that ignite will be enough to kill.
Oh, and a flash from that to Yorick.
Egg out from Anivia. Oh, and it looks like Anivia's going to get away scot-free despite losing her egg.
This is spicy.
Very.
Right off the bat. A lot of flash being blown. The only sums left on the Nancy Drew crew is basically on the Jhin.
All of the summoner spells are
Yeah.
Pretty much all of the summoner spells on Iron Dragon are up as well. Only the flash from Jarvan and Yorick and the teleport from Yorick have been used. Still looking very even down in the bot lane despite that level 1. Jarvan once again ganking Anivia, and that time turning it into a kill for Iron Dragon's Bisu on Twisted Fate.
And that's a kill in the mid lane. I guess you give that TF a free back. And definitely a lot more mid-game pressure. Trying to wave clear a lot better. And reaching that level 6 mark so you can pressure up both side lanes. How do you feel about this matchup with Yorick against Yasuo? Because I feel like the Yorick definitely should have upper hand.
Yorick also does have the advantage in the aspect of a lot, but there is a fight that Yasuo looks like he's going to be able to get out of.
Oh, he's gonna make it out of this alive, y'all.
Maybe not, because Twisted Fate is running his way there.
Oh.
But there is no blast cone for Yasuo to get out, so it looks like he's just going to Twisted here.
And
Another kill going to Bisu's Twisted Fate. But as we were saying, the matchup between Yasuo and Yorick is definitely sided towards Yasuo, but like when you have a start the way that Yasuo had, it's still a snowball matchup, where now that Yorick is quite far ahead, it's going to be very, very difficult for Yasuo to actually end up fighting Yorick.
it all stemmed off from J4, that early gank to the top lane. Definitely put pressure, busted that flash out from the Yasuo, and now the repeated gank is being a little bit too much for the Yasuo.
Yasuo also missing a double wave, which puts him even further behind in that matchup. But bot lane seems to be looking a little bit better. Kershai's shard and a dagger picked up by Kaisa.
Oh, both
Nautilus
junglers
missed
opted to go for the skirmisher saber.
Spreads all around. We want to see you burn.
A lot of burns out there.
To all the
We have
viewers out
Twisted
there.
Fate being a level 6 and an engage on the bot lane. The Nautilus hook goes in.
Twisted Fate looks like he's trying to make a play down bot lane. Nautilus does land hook on the Blitzcrank. Twisted Fate's ultimate was interrupted by the Anivia, so there will not be a gate used to secure anymore the bot. With Oliver backing, that gives all the pressure in the world to their bot lane. If they can push this in fast enough, they might look for a dive, but it looks like they're not going to. Because Jarvan is, Ancient Mommy is looking out to head back into his jungle to pick up his movement. He was like, "I'll get this one after Oliver stole his first one."
How do you feel about the Berserker Greaves on Yasuo? First item.
Actually, I feel like that's the way it should be done with the Berserker Greaves. Because when you look at it that way, like, it's the most cost-effective item, early game item you can buy. For 1100 gold, you're getting 35 attack speed and 45 movement speed, which is more than the Zeal, which I believe is 25% movement speed and 15% crit, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. The new and there's a flash away from the Yasuo against Yorick when Oliver comes in. I think
Now the TP
Yasuo
coming in
should
from Twisted Fate.
and the TP coming in now. Yeah.
But with that, knowing that Volibear is top lane, Iron Dragon looks towards the Ocean Dragon with Ancient Mommy and Dream Lovers and Nautilus.
Knowing that Volibear was outside, yes, they just started Drake. Hopefully they secure it. Still a little bit off. Nivea's coming in, walking over pink board. And no steal. Wait, will he find a kill on a J4? Nope, J4.
Yes, J4
And yes, there you go.
Down.
Using both summoners.
The flash
Nivea finds
and
himself
from Nivea.
And a
Flash hook coming out from Blitzcrank, which will end in Dream Lover's death right there. A little too far from Bisu's Twisted Fate in order to get any help from him. But although I do think any assistance from Bisu would have also ended in Bisu's death. It's a very even game despite how the game worked out, but slight advantages in over to the Iron Dragon.
This Blitzcrank is definitely showing its pressure a little bit.
And Nivea picked up the blue buff off kill from Jarvan.
Looks like both junglers just farming up jungles right now, trying to reach level 6.
King George's Volibear is 6, and he's look to either mid or hook lands in bot lane from Axis Jax. It's a blitz, hits the blitz hook onto Griffin. Griffin's
Did
Kaisa
blow her flash. Did scare her flash off of her.
and her ultimate.
We have a mid lane fight right now. Volibear goes in. Oh, Nivea egg. Will he get out? Nope. Got the kill on Nivea. Shut down right there.
The
And return
jungler,
kill.
Iron Dragon's jungler traded for Nancy Drew's mid laner.
Is that blue buff transfer back? No, blue buff is gone.
No, it is not.
Top lane York is wreaking havoc. Definitely pushing a lot of pressure into the top lane. And Yasuo.
No, the maiden survived. The maiden looks like she will not survive.
There we go. There's a 50 gold towards the Yasuo. Farming a maiden. What's the chances for Yasuo to still 1v1 that York while being a little bit behind?
He's not really ahead. I think it's a very high chance that he can.
York has a kill and definitely above CS. Not
So when you look at the gold deficit, it's about 700. But Yasuo is definitely a stronger champion in the sense where he can put down 3 auto attacks before York can put down his one. After York throws it in his Q.
some more clearing coverage on the riverside.
King George's Volibear not really caring that he can be seen on the Scuttle Crab and take the pink board that is in the river.
Now, Nivi hitting that's the level 6 definitely have a lot more wave clear than a TF. Oh, and we have a fight here in the jungle. Definitely did pick up a kill for himself. Finite Jarvan out of positioning while the other team collapsed.
The rotations coming in from the Nancy Drew crew are really on point right now. Because you can always find your Blitzcrank alongside your Volibear just in Iron Dragon's jungle, and there's not really any response coming from the laners of Iron Dragon to assist him.
Do we have a AFK top lane Yorick? Or is this a bait?
I don't know.
Oh, you asking for a pause real quick? Yorick DC'd. Yorick was disconnected. That's why he was sitting top lane and getting poked.
I'm wondering how Yorick wasn't walking back to base with that. Usually when you disconnect, you walk back to base.
That is unique. He was sitting in lane and getting some experience, so
Rather than walking back to base and missing it.
if it was me, I would have definitely poked him down. And at 12-minute mark, we definitely have an even gold on both sides. Even kills. And
Looks
we
like
have
he's back.
Yorick is 2 levels above the Yasuo right now.
I think it's at the point where Yorick is just gonna continue doing what he does. Oh, Yasuo's gonna go in anyway.
Yasuo goes in with J4 coming in, and ultimate.
And Anarchy's Yasuo goes down.
There you go. Oh, a Blitzcrank definitely made a nice hook from his other tower to the Nautilus. Finding himself a kill with that Volibear there.
That is
Tons of CC.
Dreamlover's third death of the game so far. 2 of them, well, really all 3 of them, to Blitzcrank hooks.
Proto Max Jack. Blitzcrank is definitely bringing a lot of pressure into this game for the blue side, for the Nancy Drew crew.
Plates being picked up on Nancy Drew's spot side.
Although
Yorick is
power platings.
Yorick has all but destroyed that top tier tower. Once again, this is the 3rd game of the ALS series, week 1, day 1. We have the Iron Dragon on our right side against the Nancy Drew crew on blue, and who are looking towards this Infernal Dragon to pick up.
They do have vision set up pretty well. They have a pick for it.
Jarvan goes in,
comes
steals the dragon.
Steals him.
Nautilus ulti goes out. Is Jarvan going to get out of this fight and win 2 kills?
Both the carries
Stop
flash
coming
on
on,
the
George.
dragon.
And the drag. Oh my god.
2 kills. Tyson goes in by herself, so at least she can get out. Oh, and then Jim picks up.
Tyson.
Tyson didn't expect.
Was it just me, or did the blast cone send her just straight up?
I don't think she was properly positioned. We do a small
But I think on my screen there, she just got popped up and called it a day.
I think she was chasing after the Nibia, but then she didn't expect the Jin to be in the bush. That's
Yasuo was not in that fight, so they did fight that 4v5 and lost the dragon. That's a huge swing towards Iron Dragon. And York is running down Yasuo.
That's a first tower goal to that Yasuo. Hopefully that'll be beneficial, but he is 2 levels behind the York.
And York is going to be very huge this game with the 2 kills and being ahead 2 levels. They're going to have to find an answer to York because Yasuo will not be able to hold him.
Yeah, with the Ninja Tabbies at 2 levels ahead, I don't think there's something with Yasuo will be holding silently.
Even with the Phantom Dancer. I'm assuming that Yasuo is looking for a Storm Razor with the Curse Ices. But she'll see what he decides to build. Although the tier has been picked up by Nivea and she seems to be opting for the double scaling build. So it will be some time before Nivea is online as a champion.
And we see here from the J4 definitely going a full tank build, going with some armor, second item after his jungle item.
Which he did offer the Cinder Hull.
And instead of a damage J4, which brings a lot of potential.
There's a dive down in the bot lane onto the Jin. And it looked a lot like
and
J4 just came in and KS'd it.
The tank jungler.
I don't think the ult was even remotely necessary, but they did it anyway to keep Dreamlover's Nautilus healthy, I'm assuming. But they should be able to escape from this now, because they don't really have any ultimates to use.
Yep, and the blue side's collapsing on to the Iron Dragon.
Goodbye, Griffin's Kai'Sa. Griffin's Kai'Sa got absolutely deleted after being pulled. But Griffin's Kai'Sa was able to pick up the Storm Razor off that.
And the Yasuo is now 0-4 in the top lane.
Getting solo killed by Yorick. Blitzcrank is looking for a hook onto anybody and finds the hook onto the Jarvan, but he might end up dying here for it.
He is out of mana too.
He definitely will die for this.
J4 does not have.
Jarvan flashed out, but he does have. Oh, I thought he was going to fly again.
Maybe if I was again on the Nautilus. On Dreamlover. With Ignite.
Nivea is shoving the wave again before she battles, it looks like. No dragons up or anything.
Back here.
Yorick is soloing Rift Herald, which is something that I should have mentioned earlier, but Yorick's really strong at taking neutral objectives by himself because of the maiden. The maiden's percent HP damage, as well as like the persistent damage that it does normally, it's a huge buff to Yorick, and is why he's able to 1v1 a lot of users in the top lane in the first place, but now he transitions that lead into a Rift Herald for himself.
Yorick is the highest level 12 right now for the Iron Dragons on the red side, and then we have House Arrest Sale. Am I saying that right?
House is on sale.
House is on sale. Are on sale for the Nest and Drew Crew is the highest level 12 right now. Let's see how this turns out.
The Rift Herald has been popping the mid. They're really looking to see if they can blow up this mid tower, which they looks like they will get.
Here too.
You're taking a lot of damage from the Anivia. And also grabbing bot tower. Doesn't seem to be any MR on the side of Iron Dragon just yet for the Anivia.
And the Blitzcrank pulled to the Kai'Sa. And it's
finding her under the tower. And the Jarvan's death. Looks like...
And 2 kills to the Jin. Who would that be number 3? That would be number 3, but who would take it? All 5 members of the Nets Drew Crew is on the bot side.
Quite unfortunate timing for that to happen because the dragon just came up. And that is 10% cooldown reduction to everybody on their team. Which means the Jin ulti comes back faster, the Anivia ulti comes back faster. Blitzcrank can silence more often, even though that's already on a really short cooldown. But really the important ultimates to look for are the Volibear ultimates and the Yasuo ultimates, because early Yasuo's ultimate does have a relatively significant cooldown, and the Volibear ultimate is definitely on a very long cooldown early.
TF is building a Rapid Fire Cannon, the second item. Very unique build.
Doesn't look like they'll be able to catch out York here in the bot.
And a thumbs up from New York. A little BM. Now with his team backing him up, he feels a little more comfortable. Opting forward.
Looks like a fight might break out here in the red side jungle.
Iron Dragon a little bit
Nancy Drew crew.
out of position.
Chromax a little out of position, picked it up. Kaisa is running down with Twisted Fate to see if they can pick him up. Kaisa's ultimate is out. Jarvan EQs over the wall. Jarvan does not have an ultimate, but Kaisa does get blown up by Anivia. Will she die here? She will, with the flash coming out from Volibear. But it seems that it is still a 2-for-2, trading both bot lanes on both teams.
Now they're testing this red buff on the blue side.
Jarvan EQs onto the Anivia. The fight is not over yet. The egg has been popped. Will anybody be able to help her? It does not look like it, and York picks up the shutdown gold onto from Anivia. Finally, all this over a red buff. Was the red buff that important to everybody?
It was on the Nancy Drew side.
Oh, the hook coming in from Jarvan. The fight is still not over. It's pulling into the tower, but Jarvan is able to EQ out of it and survive. Maybe.
Well, Jin ultimate coming through.
Jin ultimate is not able to find Jarvan, and Jarvan's EQ is back up, and ult onto the York who's dead, onto the Yasuo who's dead, and York is running down these champions underneath their tower. Just to flash gold cards onto the Blitzcrank and finds a kill on him too. Now they're proxying the bot lane wave behind the towers to allow the minions to walk up, which means if York turns now, that is a double demolish proc on that tower, which should take it. There it is.
Rapid Fire Cannon on the TF definitely put in some work. Definitely not what I expected, but you know, what do I know? I'm a scrub for that, but doing really well for himself. Twisted Fate, 4-0-7.
I'm wondering if it's a hybrid Twisted Fate or if he's just building the Rapid Fire Cannon for the extra 150 range.
I think he's steering towards a Zonia's right now, so a lot more utility in his kit.
And he also opted for the Rod of Ages for the extra 500 health. York gets away and is able to heal the Maiden up for another fight. The Maiden is permanently on the map as long as it is not killed.
You know, during this season, he's definitely going to start picking up more York.
Oh, York is TPing in. There's another fight caught. Blitzcrank is caught on the wing. The EQ goes out. Does Iron Dragon look for the Baron here with that pick? They could look for the Baron. They could look to take mid-tower, but I don't think that they'll get mid-tower with Anivia's wave clear. It seems that the picks are heading towards the Baron, though. So we will see how Nancy Drew crew decides to respond to this. York is proxying away. Although York's DPS is not on the Baron, he is creating pressure and slowing the advance of the Nancy Drew crew. It is about half on the Baron. York Twisted Fate's ultimate is out, and Jin ult into the pit. 2,000 on the Baron. Baron is taken by
an easy Baron secure to the Iron Dragon.
It seems like Yasuo was running it down a little bit, but getting caught out by York and Jarvan. And it looked like Nautilus as well. No major cooldowns were used. Pull onto York, which I don't think is who they were looking for. Jarvan EQs over the wall into the enemy team. Ult onto Jarvan is ult onto Jin and is able to actually kill him before Blitzcrank takes the kill and the shutdown onto Jarvan.
Now that Jarvan's a little bit spicy right there.
Super spicy, despite being full tank. Was able to
just secure Baron buff. The right call would be going back and reset, but he decided to go in on that Jin and find a kill for himself.
Yeah,
And
I
he
think
doesn't use Baron buff for himself.
I agree. Where I believe everybody should have backed after they had picked off the Yasuo there. Would have been an easy reset setup for Dragon that's coming up right now. And after they pick up if they pick up this Dragon, they will only need one more to get the Dragon Soul.
Now, the Volibear should be in position to secure this Dragon, but the Iron Dragons does have the Baron buff right now. So
Kai'Sa.
and another DC. This is third of
Kai'Sa and York both DC'd.
Are they going to back off this Dragon? Are they going to pause?
That is a
What's going
really
on?
unfortunate timing. Are they going to call for the pause?
Network disconnection. Let's pause, please. I don't think they're going to take the Dragon out of sportsmanship right here. Oh, there we go. It started. Where's the pause?
I don't know where the pause is. If they
There
paused
we go.
it and reconnected, they would have still be here. Oh, now the pause comes out.
Pause comes out right now.
Because definitely Iron Dragon would have had this Dragon by now had that not happened.
Network connections. Causing a little bit of problem. You were talking about how the TF, the high level, high elo play, will make a huge difference with all the utility in his kit, and this is coming to show that he is playing TF pretty well. For a perfect score right now.
I wonder how this is going to play out now, because Dragon is all but guaranteed on the side of the Nancy Drew crew right now. And all the ultimates are up on that side as well. Although
A summoner has
the
reconnected.
ultimates will be up by the time Iron Dragon is able to show up to this dragon, but I think it's a little too late for them to secure this dragon.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Iron Dragon do lose the Drake, but it all depends on what they do with this Baron buff coming up. With all 5 members coming back up, would they push with the Baron buff, or would they just silently pressure? We don't know.
Don't know, but the Cloud Dragons are definitely going to hurt Iron Dragons because Iron Dragons' ultimates are all on long cooldowns. But like you have the Yorick ultimate, which is like a 2-minute. Well, he's level 14, so it might actually be down to like a minute 20, minute and a half, maybe. I don't actually know the exact numbers on that, but especially factoring in the cooldown reduction. But the Jarvan ultimate I know takes a hot minute to come back. So does the Kai'Sa and Nautilus ultimates, but hopefully it doesn't end up doing too bad for them.
Looking at the gold discrepancy, definitely have the Iron Dragon with a 8,000 gold lead around. They do have 5 towers to the Nestor Crew's 1 tower, so I think that's going to be a major hard time back for the Nestor Crew to pick towers.
And it's not like the towers are low either. The both mid and bot towers are relatively healthy, so it's going to be very difficult for them to push them down. But Anivia is going to be able to stall the game out long enough, especially with her tier almost done. Yes, no, her tier is almost half done, and her Rod of Ages is almost done.
And once Nivea picks up that Archangel's staff, that's really going to make a lot more difference.
Yeah, that's a lot of AP going to be running into the side of Anivia, of Houses Anivia. But will Kindred's Yorick? Well, Kindred's Yorick is showing up in the bot lane, and Griffin Viper's Kai'Sa is looking at drugs.
They do set up a in the mid lane.
They're trying. It seems like Iron Dragon is trying to set up a 1-3-1 kind of thing, but I don't know where Griffin's Kai'Sa is headed to kind of set that up.
Griffin Kai'Sa decided to take some jungle camps. Yeah, I don't
But not
judge you.
drugs.
You do whatever you want.
Oh yeah. I figured the group would be a little bit
And that does prevent his team from sieging that mid lane at that moment in time.
I don't think Iron Dragon wants to siege against his team. I don't think they're able to because of Anivia.
And Nivea is going ooms a little bit, so if they do take notice, maybe it's going B right now. But Blitzcrank's going around with his hook.
Alright. Now Iron Dragon is opting for a little bit more optimal 1-4 split with Yorick in the bot lane. But Yorick is backing up.
Second tier outer tower left.
Kaisa is not with Iron Dragon's top lane.
Decided to push that mid lane wave.
Very risky moves.
That fork on the bot side definitely is going to be very strong.
Yeah, Nancy Drew is looking at 5s.
They do have vision on this Kindred, his best Yorick, while he walks through the jungle. And here we have Kaisa getting caught out. Oh, and there's a kill on Griffin's Kaisa while he was rotating to the top lane.
Both heal and flash used from Griffin's Kaisa as well.
Now, what can the Nancy Drew crew do with this? The pick on the AD carry.
There's not any major objectives on the map for a little while. So all that Nancy Drew crew can do for the moment is push waves and get their XP and gold up.
The best thing here, I believe, will be picking up some Baron vision, clearing some wards out in that area. It is coming up.
Yeah, Nancy Drew crew did opt not to place any vision near the Baron pit, so now Iron Dragon can just walk in and control the vision around that objective. Looks like it'll be back up in about 30 seconds.
And that's definitely getting an Executioner's Calling. He still wants to duel the Yorick 1v1.
I don't think he'll be able to. That is a 3-item Yorick, and one of his items is a Sterax. It's a lot of health looking at Yorick. Doesn't really have any percent damage on him.
Between the top laners.
Although the CS lead isn't as serious as it was, it's only 30 now. Despite Yorick also being level 16.
There we go. Oh, they're finding a pick on Blitzcrank. He does flash.
Blitzcrank's flash. But it doesn't look like it's going to matter. It does matter, because it's enough. Because luckily Kaisa was not close enough.
That was Twisted Fate's ultimate and Jarvan's ultimate. Blitzcrank's flash.
Yorick is getting caught up. Kindred's Yorick is getting caught out, but the team fight is underway. There is no Yasuo in the team fight. Kaisa ults the backline with Jarvan and is putting out damage, auto attack after auto attack, just shredding the backline. And Kaisa is still on the chin, on Bengush's chin, picking up the triple kill and decimating the Nancy Drew crew.
Oh, just was spotting 2v1. Definitely not
getting knocked over the head with a shovel. And Jarvan is not done yet. He EQs onto the Anivia, and the egg is forced out. And Anivia goes down. That is an ace.
Iron Dragon
earned on the side of Iron Dragon.
Destroyed.
There's going to be inhibitor. That would be top lane power as well.
It should also be top inhibitor as well. They could possibly look for Baron after this, but we'll see what decision Iron Dragon decides to make.
Both Baron and Dragon.
Oh, they're looking to fight still for some reason.
Oh, you think they overstayed a little bit? That's a nice pull.
They definitely overstayed now. Well, it doesn't seem to matter because they blew everything on Nautilus, so now Kaisa's just allowed to auto attack from the backline, and they have nothing to reach her. So it looks like Iron Dragon is actually just trying to end the game here. Yorick just does not care. Does not care. He's like, 2 towers?
He's saying, I'm gonna farm everything in your base. That's what he said.
I will farm in front of your base. You will not allow to kill me.
I will proxy.
I'll proxy you in your base.
Now, what's the objective here for Iron Dragons? Let's see what they choose here. They are prioritizing Dragon first over Baron. Definitely way more easier to secure than the Baron. Nancy Drew is here to respond. The Yorick is just selling them out.
The gold difference between Volibear and Jarvan is insane. It's about 4,000. And just like through all of the champions on this team. It looks like a half-ditch effort. Jarvan finding Jin and taking him down. Jarvan jumping the wall.
Nope,
and no return kill.
has 3 completed items on Jarvan and a Spectre's Cow. Just a little MR for that Nivea.
Still taking 400 for a lot of that. But the Saracen Embrace and the Rod of Ages were completed, as well as the Leandries on the Nivea. But it doesn't seem, it seems a little bit too late.
There's a TP in coming to that TF on the
York just does not even care.
Say, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna walk into your base.
Oh, he's out. And Kaiser's is like auto-attacking for the backline with all the percent damage. The game looks like it is over. Iron Dragons will be taking dub here against the Nancy Drew crew.
Despite having two and the Nancy Drew being a free dragon, they still find a game.
They got 2 free dragons. But the 20% ultimate cooldown reduction was not enough to make up for the other stats that were given from the other 2 dragons, which were the 4% damage increase from the Infernal and 2.5% healing per 5 off the ocean.
Oh yeah, that damage was off charts for that Yorick.
The Yorick damage is actually just absurd. Like looking at it here, it's 25,000 damage in that fight when the next highest was Jarvan and Kaisa with 18,000. And even on the Nancy Drew crew where you have houses hitting 17k, it just was not enough. It took way too long for the Anivia to come online and to be a champion, and they did not stall the game out well enough for Anivia to just have entire enemy team fights where she could throw her own ultimate on top of Jarvan's and just cleave whoever was inside. But
that early game from that Jarvan, that level 2 gank on the Yasuo, definitely made a huge impact towards the mid and late game, because that Yorick got a lead, blowing Yasuo's flash and forcing Yasuo to TP back into lane.
Mm-hmm. And just look at Jarvan's kill participation. That is a 30 kill participation out of the 33 kills that happened in that game. It was a phenomenal performance coming from him, despite some early game struggles after having a couple of messed ganks. But at the end of the day, the W does go to Iron Dragon, and I
would like to point out that Bisu 43's TF had a perfect game. Phenomenal play. 6-0-16.
We did say at the beginning of the game that it would but we would see how well the TF plays into the team comp. But that is your game 3 of the ALS week 1, day 1. We will be back in a few minutes. We do have one last game for today. Until then.
Awesome.